Welcome back to Divekick Infinite. It's your normal Tuesday evening. I'm your host, Thanos PKC, and today we are discussing S-Kill. Let's jump right into it. As usual, we're going to go ahead and take a look at his normals. But this is S-Kill. Some lore on the character. It's based off of Seth Killian, who is part of the FGC. He's a designer, used to be a designer for Street Fighter, community leader, I believe, too, and they actually made him a boss in Street Fighter as well, by the name of Seth. So another boss character in Divekick as well.
I'm primed for action. Select your jewels.
The hands crossed that you see for S-Kill is the way he actually plays fighting games, with his right hand handling the stick and his left hand hitting buttons. So that was a little add-on they added for S-Kill as well.
Select your duds.
I'm gonna go ahead and pick. Let's see. I'll just do the regular color, I guess. I was gonna go ahead. I usually like the white or the black suit.
This from above.
I actually hate the stage for teaching because of the rain, so I'm gonna exit real quick and come back.
Select your character.
You hate to see this kind of thing happen.
Select your
The rain has like a bunch of background noise, and it's just can't be distracting. So hopefully we get a better roll on the stage select, since there is no manual stage select. Medical facility. That's not as bad.
This from above. Round one.
Alright, S-Kill is a double jump character, and that means that he must jump twice before he can kick. His regular neutral only goes about this high, but he can actually jump a second time, and his second neutral goes allows him to jump a little bit higher. After he does both jumps, he can do a kick, but he can't do a kick off of the first jump. He actually has to make a second jump before he can actually kick. So his kickback looks like that, and when you're in the air, you can actually do a kickback in the air as your second jump. So double jump, jump back kick, then you can also do a kickback into a jump up, and meter build and movement looks something like that. Basically just pressing D twice and then K. Oop, that was a special, but we'll go over that later. So DDK or KDK for a smaller movement. Moving this quickly sometimes will cause you to trigger your special, and that's something to note. If I move too fast, I might actually plink my special instead of doing a D to jump and then a DK to do my second kick. If I have air special, enough meter for air special, if I press D to K too fast, it'll register as a special, and I'll actually use my special and waste the meter. So as you get more meter, you definitely want to watch when you're moving around. Don't press it too fast because you might do your special. Is there anything else about his normals? His kick is... This is what his kick looks like. It's fairly slow, and it's a little bit steeper than 45. It's definitely not the best kick in the world, but it can do some work in terms of... combined with his jumps, he can actually keep people away. He just has a hard time moving forward, since it doesn't move across the screen really fast, and you have to double jump every time you kick. Like moving forward does take quite some time. But because he has a double jump, that means that he has a reaction. Even though he's airborne, he still has another reaction while he's in the air. So this right here is not... He can still use another jump to get out and punish. And the angle's just enough so that when kicks come in, he can actually punish them. Let's see. too fast, already mentioned. I think we can move into the specials already. He has two specials. His ground special is one of the most satisfying moves in the game. It's a parry.
Hurry up!
Let me get that saved here. So this parry is pretty much an immediate startup, and let's see if I can get this drawn at the right line. Oop. So underneath the elbow and above his head is pretty much if the other character happens, their kickbox happens to be in this area, S-Kill will make a nice sound effect. You'll see the screen freeze. He'll say like, "What an answer," and then he'll teleport up and behind them. So if let's say Kick was here, Dive was here. Basically, he would teleport behind them, and then you have to press Kick if you want to kick out of this. But it basically sets you up for a headshot in most scenarios. I say most because it's not complete. There are some characters who have some timing differences and can possibly dodge the counter from a parry. But for the most part, it's normally a landed headshot if you're able to hit this move. The lower area here underneath his elbow is all hittable. So when you're playing against S-Kill, this is the area you want to aim for, and you want to try to keep your kicks below this parry range so that you don't have to worry about parry as much. There are chances where some characters might try to kick over him, and as he turns around, he'll like stick his hand out this way, and it'll actually catch cross-ups as well. So that is something to keep in mind of. This parry does protect from both sides. So if you happen to be facing the wrong way, even when you parry, you'll still get the parry, and basically your head is not hittable in this state. But right after, let me see if I can. Don't want to blind everyone, but right after you do parry, there's going to be a recovery. And this recovery is you looking at the screen like, did I hit it? Did I miss it? But as soon as you see S-Kill start to look back and his arm down a little bit, he's now totally hittable and he's in his recovery state. So let's see what that looks like fully. Yeah, as soon as he like looks up. Oh, I need more meter. Yeah, as soon as he looks up, that's when he's in his recovery state, and you can be hit at that point. You're locked out of being able to move, so you're kind of vulnerable to being hit. It's not that long of a recovery state, but it's a lot longer than the original one, which was they basically had like 4 frames of recovery, but now it's a decent amount, and it's actually punishable if you can bait S-Kill to do a parry. It's not that long where you'll always get punished, but if they're looking for it, they can punish you. So as you throw out this move, just know that you will be vulnerable for a small amount of time right after you do it. If the opponent is a little late on their punish, go ahead and just spam another parry, and hopefully you can catch it again. So this is what 2 parries look like. Oh. Yeah, so as you can tell, it's not a very long amount of recovery time, but it's there. You also wanted to notice, I should have mentioned this in the normals part, but you also noticed that S-Kill is a little bit taller than most characters. I think, yep. That's where you can tell that like about a head taller than Dive here. When he does parry, he ducks a little bit. So let's just draw the line for the head. All right, so there's the line for the head, and let's go ahead and unpause and have him do a parry there. Yeah, so it's a significant like duck. So if you're gauging the parry by the head size, just know that it will be a little bit lower when you actually go into your parry, and you'll squat a little bit. So a lot of times you could be going for a parry and they end up just skimming the top of your head and missing, and you might miss the parry. But it will save your head, so if that's the purpose of doing the move, then by all means continue with it. But just know that when you run a parry, you're gonna have to worry about this this height change, and don't expect it to be as high as where your head would be when you're normally standing. All right. Let's kind of see what it looks like in action, but let me get some timing here. Oop. All right, I guess gonna have to do next round.
S-Kill wins.
That little win thing there is S-Kill's. Sometimes when he wins, he pulls out a new rebalanced version of the game, and the database picks a bunch of random words to display on the screen for what they're naming the new version. Sometimes they can come up with some really hilarious stuff.
Yes, from above.
All right, so the goal here is to do a parry so you guys can see what it looks like. There you go. So as you can see, the teleport happens behind. The action on dive side is actually frozen, so they won't be able to move until you reappear, and you can actually miss the kick if you don't press kick. There's basically a parry with no kick. All right, so let's see if I could show that. So in this moment, dive is frozen in time basically, and as soon as S-Kill fully reappears, that's when motion will start to happen again. So let's see. Yeah. And if you press kick right away, you should be able to just grab the headshot. But let's do that one more time.
Hurry up.
Oh, okay. Of course I missed my timing. I gotta wait for the concussion to wear off, and then I'll build up some meter, and we'll show that timing on the kick. Yeah, so there I was mashing kick out of the parry. Notice that when I show up, I'm now kicking. And sorry to blind you, but I'll just try to press pause and unpause really quickly. Yeah, and notice that it catches up right away. So as long as you press kick right as you're teleporting, you should be able to get that headshot. If you wait, though, you will miss your chance. So there are times when you parry and you might not be in the right position. And let me show you kind of what that looks like. It usually has to do with being on the like near a wall or a certain height or a certain character. But let's see if I can do this. Oh. So what I'm trying to do right now is I'm having S-Kill jump over, and I'm going to parry on the other side. And I can't have it happen this next one. I'll just draw it out so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Oh, of course I hit myself in the head there.
Round 6.
Let's see if we can do this. Probably should have picked a different character besides dive, because I think it might be easier to do with Shoals, because she has a very steep kick on the edge of the screen. I'm not going to be able to get this. Maybe not.
Hurry up.
Alright, let's try to do it just really close, and the point is that... Let me pause this real quick. What happens is, if you're up against, let's say that this is the wall, and you end up parrying somebody kicking here, or kicking like on the cross, what happens is you'll have a target that's above and behind them, except the above and behind is like this out of bounds area, so you'll be scooted over slightly. And if you press kick right away, you'll probably miss because you'll be kicking here. But if you kind of wait for them to land a little bit, you'll fall, and then you could possibly kick them. Hopefully, I can show you what it looks like in the real game, but we'll see if it happens. Oops. Right. Need to do this. Kick. Oh,
Dive
okay, I might not be fast enough.
wins.
I'll try one more time, and then if not, we'll move on. There are some characters that have a certain kick angle as well, that you just don't show up like behind their head, and you might have to delay your kick instead. Oh. Take small movement. I should move smaller.
Round 2. Dive kick. Beautiful.
One more time.
Round 3. Dive kick.
I have to at least get attempt here. Sorry for making you guys wait. It's probably painful to watch. Oh.
Hurry up.
Okay. Alright, I guess I'm gonna give up on that point. Maybe when we do the matchups we can kind of show it there. It might be easier to have someone else's help.
Fraud detection warning. Fraud detection.
Alright, is there anything about the ground special that I should mention? I do believe that you can cancel your landing frames. Okay, let's see. So this is what you're
if you don't mind if I add something about that actually.
Okay.
this is matchup specific, but against some characters that have ground things, you're kick into the parry. Like versus Stream's Flame, will cancel the bounce and do the parry instead.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that as we go into the matchups, but thank you for bringing that up. That's Erik, or otherwise known as Briefs. He'll be jumping in a little bit later, but thanks for jumping in right now. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I was talking about landing frames. So this is what your landing frames. This is what your landing frame normally looks like when you just hit the ground and you're about to land. I believe that you can cancel the. You get 4 frames of landing frames before you can recover and act again. But I believe you can actually. If you do it too low, you end up doing your air special. But if you do it as you land, you can actually get your parry in. So that one basically skipped the 4 frames of landing and went straight into the parry. Yeah, so you can cancel your landing frames when you are in there. The special, like, there are some things that you can't parry, and there are certain situations, but I'll go over that when we talk about matchups. I'm pretty sure we'll hit those matchups because they are special. But I think it might be good to jump into air special now. Let me see. Let me make sure I cover everything on ground special. I think that's most of it. All right, so let's talk about air special. Air special is kind of is called trick, and it's S-Kill's pretty much bread and butter in terms of offense. I'm sure you've seen it earlier, but once you get enough meter for air, you can do this from a. As long as you're in the air, whether you're kicking or not, you'll do an air special, and this is what it looks like. So, you teleport to above and in front of dive, or your enemy, whether they're in the air or on the ground. And the order of sequence kind of matters because it's not a guaranteed kill every time. It all depends on the timing. So I'm gonna have dive jump a little bit. So notice that I teleported somewhere, but it was not right in front of dive for an easy headshot, and looks like I'm probably gonna get that headshot anyway. But there are understanding like the sequence of events will help you figure out when is a good time to trick. Alright, so actually let's just get a little bit closer and I'll get in there real quick. Okay. Actually, I'll wait for the stroke detection. No, it's gonna still be there. Okay. Alright, so the first thing that happens when you trick is you press D plus K. As soon as you press D plus K, target appears. And that will appear wherever the character that you're facing is standing, to be above and in front. So let's just say the target is right here. And then you disappear. Excuse my bad handwriting. And so that's an animation of you basically materializing or dematerializing, and that animation takes frames. And during those frames, action isn't paused, so Dive over here could be moving during that time. Then you do the actual move, where your position in the game, even though you're not visible, then shifts to this target location. So this is the move. Okay, upon this move, you will do your auto face. That means that if Dive is somehow over here, you'll now face that way. And then you're going to do your reappear animation. And then after you fully reappear, you can act. And I say act, not kick, because there are different things you can do. So going through this lineup, this is where you hit D plus K, and this is where you can act. And between all of this is time. And during that time, things can be changing on the screen. And I think even in here where you disappear, there is about a few frames where you're completely invisible, but you're still hittable at your previous location. Once you show up at your new location, you are hittable as long as you're in the reappear animation. And the act animation is, or after you reappear, you can act, and that means that if you were kicking and you canceled your kick with your air special, you will be in a kicking state when you reappear. So if you ever cancel your kick, you're automatically locked into a kick, and it comes out the fastest because it'll come out right when you reappear. If you're doing it from a jump, if it's your second jump, then you have the option of falling or kicking whenever you want. If you've done it from your first jump, then you actually have the option of making a second jump and then kicking. You do not have the option of kicking because you have to make that second jump first, so you can either fall or do your second jump and then kick. So that only happens if you are able to press D plus K well, and I'll kind of show the problems with that. But if you can understand this, you can understand why you appear at different places. That's because this target right here is determined fairly early in the sequence of events, and things might have changed before you actually reappear for trick. All right, I think that's enough of that explanation. I'll kind of show you guys the way you can get a second jump in there after you reappear. Game, erase all my drawings here. All right. Let's see if I can do this well. I have a hard time because I have a hard time pressing D plus K at the same time. There's the second jump and the kick.
Choke detected. Choke detected.
Now what happens is, I think I referred to this earlier, a plink where you press D plus K a little bit too fast and you end up doing your special. That can happen when you try to do your a trick in between the two jumps. And what happens is that first, if you do like a D and then a K, or a K then a D, the first button press of the plink will actually eat your second jump, and you won't be able to do your second jump. So you guys are watching my buttons on the screen. I'm gonna go ahead and try to do that. So I didn't have a second jump there because I ended up plinking my special. And so the second, the very first button press of the try to press them at the same time actually gave me a short animation of a jump, and then I went into my special, and that means that I don't have a second jump when I come out of it. So if you're doing this and you want to be precise and you want to get that second jump, try to make sure that you don't plink when you press the D plus K. I have a hard time doing it, so I ended up doing it a lot of times, and it's hard for me to rely on the one jump trick. So yeah, you can also retreat if you wanted to. But yeah, that's trick. There's a lot that has to do with trick, but I have a feeling that we're gonna go over that more in like the offense. And so let's kind of move on to the Kickfactor. I can kind of go over the I call them trick opportunities, but opportunities to get a trick in that allow you to kind of the patterns you wanna look at out of your opponent that you want to use trick to get a more guaranteed hit, and rather than having to have them stay in the same place for the amount of time it takes you to disappear and reappear. But let's go over that after going after Kickfactor. All right, Kickfactor is if you've played this game in vanilla, you'll know that S-Kill actually had teleport jumps instead of regular jumps. So right now you can actually see him jump, but he used to have teleport jumps in vanilla. And if you play the single player mode, when you see him in boss mode, he actually has his teleport jump still, but he also has that extra speed. In S-Kill's Kickfactor mode, he doesn't have that extra speed anymore, but he gets his teleport jumps back. And this lasts a lot longer than the normal 8 seconds. It actually lasts about 20 seconds. So it could last a full, like, into the next round pretty easily. See, I still have a bunch of meter left. And, you know, while you're in your Kickfactor, you can still do both your specials. You can still do parry, and you can still do trick. There is a thing to note about there are graphic helpers for your enemy to understand where you're jumping. But I'll show you what that looks like and how to read them. So whenever you jump up, you'll see, whoops. I think that's visible even without the highlight, but let's highlight it anyway. Whenever there's a vertical disappearing graphic, that means that S-Kill has jumped up from his last position. And whenever there's a horizontal one, it means he jumped, he did a kickback. So let's go ahead and show what that looks like in the screen, so you guys can follow along in real time. So if you do a jump while you're still invisible, like your second jump, it actually won't show the graphic of the second jump unless you've reappeared already. So you'll notice that, let me try to move forward and I'll show you that I can do a kickback without seeing a horizontal graphic. So I did a kickback, you didn't see the horizontal graphic, but if I let myself reappear, then you'll see the horizontal graphic. So that's something to keep note of. If you jump before you reappear as S-Kill, you can hide your second jump of what it looks like. Again, not all players might not be noticing the graphics or trying to guess where you are, so but it is there if you do play against S-Kill. If you do trick, out of Kickfactor, I believe that you will see the graphic of him actually doing a trick. You just won't know if it's a jump or if it's a trick if you're on the opponent's side. So let me build that up again. So you reappear, you'll see the vertical mark, and if you reappear higher. So there, I actually did my trick, and it looked like the disappearing one could have looked like just a regular jump up, but it was actually a trick. So if you're doing trick out of Kickfactor, just know that it's not 100% reactable. They still have to guess if it's a regular jump up or if it's a trick, but they do get some kind of notification that you're making an action at that moment. And so if they know the timing well, then they'll know whether it's a trick or not, because you'll kind of show up outside the timing. But it's up to you on how you want to use it, but it's good to know that there is some kind of obfuscation in terms of if you have Kickfactor, your tricks will be a lot harder to predict. When you do have Kickfactor, you lose that movement where you can kind of, oops, sorry, I must have blinded you guys out there. You do lose a little bit of that movement because your reappearing and disappearing animations aren't you moving backwards. They're a little bit less elusive than you were with your regular jumps. But obviously, when you're fully invisible, you can't be hit once you've done your move. Obviously, I think I already mentioned that if you're like the last frames of your being invisible right before you end up doing the move, you are hittable. So just be wary that you will have to adjust your spacing if you are in Kickfactor mode, because they could probably you're there for a lot longer and they can probably tag you. Whereas if you were doing a regular jump, as soon as you hit jump, you start moving out of the way. All right. Not sure if there's anything else to mention about Kickfactor.
This kid wins.
We'll show graphics, jumps. No, I think that's about it. Here we can move into common offense. I'll just try to explain Eskill's common offense really quick. And he's a very straightforward character in that most of his offense is tied to trick.
Round one.
His kick is so slow that it's really hard to push someone back, but because he has double jumps, he can definitely hold his own on defense. But he's mainly trying to use his special, so parry, and his double jump to basically defend until he gets enough meter for trick. And then once he has enough meter for trick, he now has an instant offense whenever he wants to jump into the air. Obviously, you want to get the character set up so that you can land those hits, but that's kind of the game plan that Eskill normally has. He wants to build meter for trick and then set up the other players so that they're trickable. Most common areas to trick are if they're just standing there. Oops, sorry. If they're just standing there and not moving, you can catch them sitting there like a deer in headlights. You just do a trick to basically go right to them and hit them. Another one is at the apex of their jump, right before the apex as they're moving up, they'll do like a pause or like a hang at the top, and that's enough time to actually get over there to attack. So that's another point. If you notice them doing very high neutral jumps, you'll want to punish them at the apex of the jump where they hang for a little bit. That'll be enough time for you to teleport to them and kick them. I really got to stop doing that. Sorry. Another good moment is if they're backing up against the wall.
Hurry up.
The camera won't move until you're there. So as they're doing this, they're going to be sliding down along this wall. And basically the only movement they'll have is like this until if you actually did a trick here, you would show up kind of in front of them. And they'll just be moving downwards, but close enough so that you can actually kick them. So there's a lot more opportunities when you study each of the characters' movements, but that's going to be very matchup dependent. But these are kind of 3 to start off with. The things you do want to look for is, are there any moments where they're the same height or a little bit lower across a very small amount of time? Another one, I guess I could mention one that is something to look for. This one has Shoals and Kung. So horizontal kicks from Shoals and Kung look somewhat like that. What happens is if you end up doing a trick while they're doing this horizontal movement, if they're right here at that moment in time, you'll show up here. And while you're doing your animations, they'll have traveled to right here. So in terms of attack power, you're still in that perfect spot. You're just going to auto face when you get there. So look for opportunities where this type of dynamic also happens. It can be during enemy movement, or it can be doing just a natural kick angle of the other player. All right, let's not blind everyone for the 20th time. Other than that, I would say that baiting parries is probably the other offense, but I don't really consider that offense. I would consider that defense. But if you're doing it actively, I guess you can consider it offense. But basically, you want to move into an area where you make them believe they can punish you, and when they do, you just go ahead and spam the parry to get them, basically counter them. Yeah, I think that's about it. I don't play footsies with S-Kill that well, just because it's very slow, but I've seen people, do decently well. But that's what I would say is S-Kill's power is in his trick, and if you have, if they don't come after you, you will get Kickfactor, and then your tricks will be even more dangerous because they'll be a lot harder to, whoops, that's me plinking by accident, but your tricks will be a lot harder to predict once you have Kickfactor. Of course, I keep plinking. But your offense actually looks a little bit better as well because they're not sure when you might attack. You could just go for a regular kick instead of doing a trick. If they're trying to attack you in Kickfactor mode, there's only so much time where you're actually on the screen and hittable. So Kickfactor mode can boost your offense, but I think I'm going to hold to my stigma that primarily you're looking for trick opportunities. I think this is a good time to bring in Ada Basilisk. They were previously known as. Actually, I'll bring them in and then they can introduce themselves. Hey Ada, are you there?
Yeah, hi.
Hey, can you do a quick introduction for yourself?
Hi, I'm Ada Basilisk. In the past, I went by Adelheid Stark. Actually, strictly, I still do, but like my stage name is Ada Basilisk. There was a long time where I just went to tournaments as my real name, which is Adelheid Stark. I am an old S-Kill player. Before, I wasn't sure how much I was going to get into this game, but pre-release, I told Keats, the main developer, that S-Kill was clearly broken, and that there were a few things that needed to be changed. And he didn't believe me and was just like, okay, if you think that's true, then go to all the tournaments. And I was a top 3 player over the game's lifespan, and the only notable... Sorry, I say over the lifespan of the original version, before S-Kill was changed to what he is now.
Vanilla.
Yeah, and I'm very proud about basically single-handedly getting this character nerfed into the ground.
All right, but you have played a decent amount of S-Kill post vanilla, right? In the AE era, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
All right.
I definitely have.
So just so you guys know, this person speaking from experience about playing with top players and even with the developers. So it's awesome to have you here to comment on my wild theories about S-Kill, but
I gotta say, I don't totally agree with you on a lot of them.
That sounds good. This is what we want to hear. So first, what do you agree/disagree with, and then we can go with anything you want to add as far as offense goes.
I strongly favor trying to stay in Kickfactor. And I noticed there was a specific technique that you didn't go over at all that I think is pretty clear, that is pretty key to making S-Kill work at a higher level.
I'm holding my breath in anticipation.
And that is doing double taps for doing double tap kicks.
When you say double tap kicks, you're referring to just basic movement, where you're pressing DDK fairly fast?
No,
Okay.
I'm talking about like whenever I watched you you try and build meter with S-Kill, you would do KDK.
I was just doing it just so I can run it through it fast, but as far as building meter, there's plenty of ways to build meter. I was just doing it that way. I wouldn't do that in a real match. It would depend on the spacing, of course.
Well, I mean, there are faster ways to build meter with this character than KDK.
Oh.
And ways that do not necessarily require you to advance forward while you're doing it. You can build meter extremely quickly while staying exactly in place or even moving backwards slightly.
Okay, so this is so as far as meter build, DKK, DDK moves you forward, KDK moves you forward a little bit less, and are you referring to DKK? Or yeah, DKK? Or is there something totally different that I'm just totally missing?
So you have to be extremely clean with the input of it, but uh, I have to ask, what kind of controller do you use to play this game?
I'm using a keyboard right now, but I do have a gamepad that I've used previously. I use X and Y, and I play with the one hand. I would not recommend it. I think two hands is better, but it's kind of how I learned, and I can't give
I
up my
don't
rubber
think that you can. I don't think you can do this with one hand.
Ah, okay.
It would be extremely difficult.
Are you
So,
talking about basically doing a plink but on one big button or one larger
Yeah.
button to get that double
Yeah.
K that's really, really fast?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I totally understand that.
You gotta in order to do like the best stuff and to like actually make it possible to go backwards with your neutral while still staying low to the ground and not wasting time. You have to hit kick, and then as soon as you're out of the recovery of that, with two fingers, you press the edge of the button while rolling off of it, and then with a different finger, you press the kick button again.
Yeah,
And you are not going to be able to do that one-handed.
I think you could do it one-handed. So I've done that one-handed on fight sticks before, or arcades, I should say. But it's usually just it's like a piano tap where I'm hitting down with my middle finger and then my index finger is following it. But
Yeah.
having two hands, you don't have to worry about coordinating that at all, and it's a lot easier. So I do understand that part. But that's so you can basically get the presses fast enough, and that's just a mechanical thing. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is about mechanical execution, but it's important because it is also like getting used to doing that is how you can still do instant kicks out of your, well, instant-ish kicks out of your first jump. Even if you have enough meter for trick, because otherwise, if you do it too fast, you will trick. You will get accidental tricks. And oftentimes you don't want that. You want to just jump straight up. In order to not cede ground, it's important to have the option to do that at any time. Whereas if you might get an accidental trick if you just like jump straight up and your opponent tries to threaten you.
Is you're saying there's a way to do it really fast without triggering special? Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Ooh, I want to see
because
that.
because you don't press both buttons at the same time.
Oh, because you're pressing KK instead of D then K, so it's not.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think I go what you're saying. Yeah, you're only pressing K, so you're not pressing both buttons at the same time when you do it quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I doubt I can do it on keyboard because it's definitely not fast enough here. But I'll jump
I'm
into
trying to figure
a
if I
match with
can.
you.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
But let me see if I can. I'll see how fast I can do it on keyboard because I know I can't, but I just want to see how fast I could do it on keyboard.
I used to be better at it. It was something that I developed because I was like I wasn't satisfied with my movement.
Yeah, it's as fast as I can get, but you can do it faster.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and jump. I might not be able to see this because of latency, but let's give it a shot. So I'm gonna jump online and I'll look for your lobby, hopefully.
Yeah, I'll make one real quick. All right. I have a public lobby open.
All right. I see Notzak in the chat doing a little zombie wave. Hello, Notzak. Hope you're enjoying the show. We're about to see some fast kicks from Ada here.
I could beat you with my hands crossed. Rare footage of me actually angry.
Select your gems. Select your duds. This from above.
Okay, let's see how well I can do this. I was practicing it before, but
One.
it is a bit. I am almost a decade out of total practice with this. But okay, what?
Hurry up.
There we go. Well,
Is
not
that
the
KK?
best.
It looks like it's KKK. Is that correct?
It is KKK.
Oh, okay, okay.
Round
And
two. Divekick.
I'll nerf you.
this is the timing I'm actually used to when I'm in Kickfactor,
Oh, okay.
because like being able to like go backward and forward. Because like when you're on the ground, like when you're not there, you can only like basically stay in place or go extremely slightly backward. But
Round.
like if I'm do this at maximum speed, watch how far I go backward. You'll need to go forward for me to be
Yeah,
able to
sorry,
do
let
this.
me... There you go.
Sorry.
Hurry up.
Okay, I'm not getting the timing there. It is
Round.
slightly difficult, but I think that is important to do.
Hurry up.
I start practicing it in the moment that it comes down to it. I'm no longer getting it consistently.
So just to explain for anybody who's watching that, I think I understand this because when I used to play fighting games on a fight stick in arcades, the buttons are a little bit bigger, so you can, like, as opposed to a
There,
keyboard,
you see
you can
that?
get two fingers. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hurry up.
So because you can like slightly shuffle backwards or forward while staying really low to the ground by alternating stuff like you can sort of create a lot of pressure in Kickfactor.
Yeah, it allows you to inch forward very low and stay kind of grounded where you can react still.
Divekick.
Yeah. Also, again, it normally a lot of exerting pressure is about with this character is about single jumps forward, or in neutral, while trying to make it so that like your offense isn't particularly fast, so you have to sort of pressure the opponent passively. Like you have to make it so that the opponent is scared to go forward, and a lot of ways that you do that are going to rely on you kind of doing a neutral jump near them, because there are different ways you can get out of that. You can jump backward out of it. Basically, you want to create a sort of situation which is somewhat similar to most characters, just the ability to stand on the ground and do a quick attack.
So I think the situation you're referring to is the neutral game, where your natural state is you've spent your first jump, and you're in that I can react with a quick kick, or I can jump back if I need to, and it's kind of like your standing state, but since you're a double jump character, you're in a jumping state instead. Is that correct?
Yeah, kind of, but it's a bit different because Eskill, once he's in the... Well, Eskill's an extremely low minimum kick height. That's, like, the thing that is, like, probably best about him, is the fact that his minimum kick height is so low that as long as you are in the air at all, you can kick, basically.
Mm-hmm. And is that from, like, because you have to do a double jump, it's still somewhat high, I guess, but after you do your second jump, you can pretty much do it because your first jump should have cleared your minimum height, I believe.
Well, the thing is, Like, if go back into a game real quick.
Okay. I'm just gonna turn on the sound because Eskill's head exploding was just on in the background, so I turned that off for the stream.
This from above.
I see.
All right, cool.
Round 1. Divekick.
Look, if I'm here, it's a bit difficult to approach because at any time I could go like this, or I could go here. But also, a bit different from most people in the situation, I can also just...
Oh yeah, just run your fast attack, which is
Yeah.
KK or DK from the air position.
Yeah, so like, if I'm in that situation, the benefit of plinking with KK means if you look, I have trick meter. If I try and do the normal fastest way to get out of it,
Hurry up.
I'm going to trick.
Oh yeah,
But
if you end up doing
But I can
DK.
attack faster with kick than I can
Round
with with dive
Okay.
weight kick.
Mhm.
Very slightly, but it's not nothing.
No, it's definitely better. Like if you don't have
Also-
meter for trick, I like the DK plink because it doesn't back up as much.
Hurry up.
Yeah.
But you can't do that. It is good to point out that if you're in that position, KK is your alternate. Like double tap at KK, especially the mechanics behind double tapping KK, is definitely better.
Round 4.
It's something to work with.
Yeah.
Also, there's one other thing I want to talk about real quick that you didn't mention. Go to maximum height and kick, okay?
Okay.
From this distance. Okay, again. Okay, now one more time. Sorry, one more time.
Oh, there it is.
I'm sorry. I am not. You know what? I did that backwards.
Cause detection warning.
Try that one more time.
Yeah, sure.
I'll get right up. I'll get right up to you.
Okay, I'll wait for you.
Divekick.
All right, ready? Oh, you probably need me to prepare. Yeah. Oh, it's okay.
Fraud detected.
Are you referring to the turnaround parry?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not exactly.
Do you want me to aim a certain place,
This from above.
or just kick over?
Round 1. Divekick.
Let me know when you're ready.
I was trying to set up the spacing.
No worries.
Round 2. Divekick.
It's okay. Sure. I'm just trying to set up spacing. You can easily go like right behind me. Yeah, like this.
Okay. And you want me to cross you up,
Yeah.
but not hit you, just further away,
Yeah.
correct?
Not. Yeah. Don't hit me.
Yeah.
Just max jump.
Aw. Of course I mess it up now. Sorry about
It's
that.
fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm gonna jump so you can kick closer. Alright.
Hurry up.
Oops. I guess I'm a little close there. Try it one more time.
Round
Got me on the edge of my seat. I'm wondering what to expect here.
Oh right. I need to.
Alright. I think I'm too far.
I thought that was the spacing.
Can you explain to me
Well,
what you're
it's-
trying to do?
Round 6. Divekick.
My work. Can you just try and? So you're aware that you duck down as you parry,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I did mention that.
Yeah. So can you just try and hit me at like the tip of my head?
Okay. I'll do it. Oh, let me kick you so I can do that for next round.
Like
I'll-
as far back as possible.
Round
Yeah.
7.
Basically cross you up on the other side of your head. I'll try to aim
Well,
for that.
no, like aim for a headshot. Like yeah, max height from here.
Oh, that's not max height.
Round 8. Divekick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
It's fairly close. Oh,
Invincibility. Hurry up.
Could be possible here.
all right, let me try.
Unique
That's-
tool. Moment 37.
I think you did lose that one on the line.
Yeah, I just didn't want to die there.
Yeah, no worries. Oh, sorry. Okay, ready?
Or, actually, I realized this doesn't work when I'm in Kickfactor.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let me just explain real quick
Yeah, sure,
what I'm trying to do. So, with people with low kick angles, there's an unfortunateness because you duck down when you parry. If you want to parry someone who's aiming at the back of your head, there are going to be times where you would have parried them if you kept your standing hitbox, but because you duck down a bit, you actually allow them to go past you.
Oh, so there's a timing where you let them enter kind of your head area, and then when you do parry, it'll like catch them. But because you do it too early, that interaction doesn't happen.
No, because you have to hit the parry before. That might be true, but if it's so, it's like a one frame thing, and I would never go for it. Let me show you what I'm actually trying to show you. What I'm actually trying to demonstrate.
This from above.
I do know that you can wait to turn around and then hit a parry where you put your arm out, but that's something different, right?
Yeah, that's something different. I'm talking about doing this.
Oh, you're doing like okay, so I think you're doing a plank KD, which backs you up a little bit. Let me see if I can do that again. So, yeah. Okay. So this is the way I can explain it. If they go over your head, sorry,
It's very niche.
No, it's very niche, but it is something to mention just in terms of mechanics. So, when I'm referring to a plink parry, and that's you hit K first into D, and when you do that, you actually get a very small instance of your kickback before your parry shows up. And what that does is it pushes you back just a little bit so that your parry actually moves backward. Just a little bit. Very, very little, but it might be enough to actually catch the parry.
Usually you don't want it. Usually it's important. Usually it's all that does is mean that they are more likely to strike your. Usually it just means that they're more likely to strike lower on you because if you're backing up versus where they would normally want to go.
Yeah,
but it basically just depends. Depending on your opponent. Depending on your opponent's spacing and their kick angle and where they're attacking from, you may want to specifically do a light plink with punch then kick in order to definitely stay in place. I said punch then kick.
No worries. Yeah. Yeah. So
versus if they're going for a high angle, you want to try and do kick punch just to make it a little bit just to make sure they don't go past you.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense, and that's definitely a great call out. I know of this interaction, I just don't use it as much, but I should if I'm playing Skill, and if you're learning how to play Skill, you should as well. So thank you for mentioning that.
I mean, I think the most important thing that you didn't go over is the advanced technique of the plink.
Yes, I tried. I tried not to go too deep into it, but yeah, it's definitely. I think it's very important, especially because it's especially necessary because if you want to play in boss mode and you want to do the fastest kicks. Yeah, the plinking of a K is going to make it a lot faster because you just press the buttons a lot faster. Oh crap!
Yeah, because otherwise, the faster you go, the more likely you are to get an accidental trick.
Yeah.
And you don't want that. It's very important that you not get that. So you'll waste all your meter, because you have 40 seconds of Kickfactor time. And I realize that, a lot of that is based entirely on me having a massive amount of pre-nerf experience, and me, favoring the boss mode.
Let me show the difference on the plink and the standstill and the thing, just so it's very clear. So this is KD plink, where I'm not moving back, and that's sorry, that last one was sorry, DK plink shows the not moving, and a KD plank will move you backwards. I just wanted to get that into the video so they can see the difference on staying still and moving back a little bit.
Unique tools.
There is one other thing that you didn't mention that is somewhat important. Which is the ability to cancel your kick with trick.
Oh, I thought I did mention that.
Did you? I didn't think that you did.
You know what? I might not have stuck on it. I might have said it really quickly. The one difference I did want people to know is that if you commit to canceling your kick, when you come out of it, you're definitely going to be kicking, because it doesn't give you the option to fall anymore.
Also, the fact that if you want to play a skill, you should get a look. You should be very familiar with what exactly the meter on the left looks like. This is a very important amount of meter, because it is the amount of meter that you need to do
trick, yeah.
this.
And that's also a plink ability that you can, instead of doing a kick and then canceling, you could just plink it to get that extra bit of meter as well.
Yeah. If you do your plink before your if you kick before tricking, then you get that. Also, a very bizarre thing.
Jumping back in.
This from above.
This is also pretty niche, but it is definitely worth bringing up. Could you just act a little bit evasively and like don't get hit by this? I'm going to trick and try not to get hit by it.
Oh. Sorry. Are you talking about panic parry?
No, I'm
Okay.
talking about the fact that that you get the meter for kicking twice when you do that plank.
Oh, okay. In terms of, yeah, I'll try to just dodge, but I won't be in the air.
Yeah, no, I'll just do this, and if you'll notice that it forces you to kick instantly out of it. But the act of going back into the kick state gives you kick meter
one
again.
extra kick meter. No, that's definitely a great call out there. That's not something I actually checked before.
I think it's pretty. I mean, it's worth noting simply because.
Yeah, every kick of meter matters when you're asking.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, also, I think that kick is by far Eskill's best
Gem?
best gem.
Oh wait,
but
before we go to gems, I kind of want to talk about counterplay after.
Oh yeah, sure.
Morning.
So go ahead and kick me. I want to go back to the at least the pause screen. I'll go to my scribble screen so we don't have to leave lobbies, but hopefully we don't have the fraud alert and sounds and whatnot. All right. Let me double check. Common offense. The extra things you wanted to talk about were double tapping K, plinking it definitely gets you faster kicks. Ground special, do a plink KD will get you movement backward instead of doing a plink DK, which will give you a standstill. If you do D plus K perfectly, it'll be a standstill as well. If you do it kind of haphazardly, then you won't be able to choose, like me. Sometimes I'll plink when I really meant to press it at the same time.
Oh, so it doesn't work in Kickfactor. It does that technique just doesn't work in Kickfactor.
Yeah, because you don't have the jump momentum on the KD plink, because the kickback doesn't. You don't move in Kickfactor because you're teleporting.
Yeah.
And then the last one was you get extra kick a meter while doing it. Oh, one, you can cancel kicks. Just a reminder, you can cancel your kick with trick, and if you do so, you'll get an extra kick a meter on your kick outside of when you reappear. Did I summarize all your additions correctly?
Yeah, but I mean I guess outside of like weird advanced stuff, I just feel like you didn't you didn't give enough credit to the Kickfactor.
Oh, yeah, I did just kind of go over Kickfactor adding to your movement, but I did not go over it
I
in
think
depth
the
at all.
fact that I think the invisible movement and the opponent not being able to tell exactly where you are, because you can basically be appearing anywhere within a large isosceles triangle when you are appearing out of the teleport, and you can determine exactly where in that triangle you're going to show up,
Mhm.
and the opponent has no way of knowing where it is. Yes, there is the fact that they can tell what your initial starting point is, whether you're going horizontal or vertical. But if you interrupt the teleport with another teleport, because it's called a teleport, but it's really you turn invisible and then you are intangible and you start moving. And if
Right.
you
Okay, just making sure it's
interrupt if you interrupt one teleport with another teleport, then they can't see the animation. They can't tell if you're going to continue in that direction or if you're going to change directions. They can't tell if you're going to cancel instantly out of it.
Mhm. And I think that
And
I did go over the animation. I went over the mechanics of it, but I didn't explain how it's very beneficial to you. So sorry
yeah,
about
it's
that.
the reason. The fact that you have hidden information over the opponent is, I think, the reason why S-Kill used to be so strong. And you are essentially temporarily giving yourself that back.
Mhm.
It's not offense in the sense of attempting to kill the opponent, but you have 40 seconds of it to work with when you go into Kickfactor. And so
I did think it was 20 seconds.
it's
But
40
I'll
seconds.
check my
It's two
math
whole
again.
rounds worth. It is 2 whole rounds worth.
Okay, I'll definitely have to check my math later. But thank you for that correction.
Yeah. So the fact that you can hold on it and just sort of apply pressure that they're like extra unable, like extra not used to dealing with, because not only is it not something anybody else does, it's also not something that you always do. Most opponents are not going to really have the experience dealing with it if you get good at it. And I think that's very powerful.
Yeah, it's a knowledge check if people aren't used to looking at that first jump, and also you can hide your second jump, because as long as you don't let yourself reappear, they won't see that second graphic, and so your second jump is completely hidden. There's nothing that they can do to figure that out besides know all the possibilities and plan for all the possibilities, which is tough.
Yeah.
All right. I tried to draw your isosceles triangle very, very badly here. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, it's fine. Close enough.
Close enough. Close enough. Okay, so I kind of want to move into the common counterplay, and then after that, we're going to bring in Briefs, who you heard earlier, and he's going to give his thoughts as well, basically on gem picks, and then he can throw his knowledge out on offense and defense as well. But the first thing I want to talk about in counterplay is fairly simple. Stifle as much as you can S-Kill's meter build. And let's say this is S-Kill. He's a little bit taller, but his parry is going to be about right here. You want to make sure to aim your kicks below that. Parry is always live, and you want to make sure to not leave yourself open to being parried, because it will normally lead to a headshot. So you either aim low or you try to wait for the parries to happen and then attack. But aiming low keeps you safe both ways and doesn't leave you standing there waiting for S-Kill to parry. But if you can, try to make sure that you don't give S-Kill, you give him at the least amount of space to build meter, because that's when his tools appear. And offensively, he's not as dangerous, but he can defend really well. Once he starts getting his trick and his Kickfactor, then you have to start worrying, because all his tools are optional. And the counterplay for when he does have trick is to stay grounded when he's in the air. So try to make your movements kind of coincide when he's about to land or landed already. Then run your movements while he's on the ground. Obviously, that's going to be very hard and it's going to stifle your movement a lot. But if you are in the air a lot when he is in the air, then he'll have more opportunities to catch you in a very bad position and get a guaranteed trick. I think the last tip is be careful of panic parries. I know I mentioned this earlier before, but whenever you miss a kick with S-kill, sometimes you just parry as you land and you'll catch them trying to punish you. And that is something that you might be, your body just might be like have muscle memory to do when you notice them make a mistake and you're like, oh, I can just kick them here, and you're not respective of that parry height, then you can fall victim to just getting baited into kicking into a parry. I think that's all I have on counterplay. Do you have more to add, Ada?
No, I think that's correct. Making sure that to deny S-kill resources at any time is important, because as you mentioned, S-kill thrives off of having multiple options, and so if you can prevent that, if you can make it so that as many options as possible are bad, if you can force S-kill back, then he loses all of his power and he just becomes a really slow character who's who is weak.
Yeah, you deny him his tools. Parry, it doesn't take long for them to get to parry, but if you notice S-kill without parry, then that will loosen up your attack angles, but that doesn't last very long, so I wouldn't rely on it, and I'd try to keep your habits to keep the kicks low. If you are facing an S-kill who uses lots of Kickfactor, you want to train yourself to look for that first graphic and see if you can see another graphic, because it'll let you know that trick might be coming, but it's better that you understand where that first jump went so you can narrow down where they are, because if you don't even think about that first jump, then you'll have absolutely no idea where they are. So
oh yeah, that is important to note. While you are teleporting around, the trick animation will still play out even if you're invisible, and that is a clear tell. That didn't used to be the case.
Yeah,
they patched that in. The old tell used to be watch S-kills meter, and if it suddenly goes down as he's tricking.
That's still a very good tip, and I'm glad you brought that up. When the teleport happens, the meter will go away, but it's pretty tough to watch both the character's movement and the meter. But it is something. All right, let's see what's next on our list here. Before we go into gem selection and bring the briefs on, a slight talk about Concussion and line play. Concussion is very good against S-kill. If you can get S-kill concussed, he becomes that slow character that that we were talking about, where he doesn't have access to parry, and his kick, he really can't stop an approach with his kick. And so if you're concussed as S-kill, I think your main priority is just take the other round loss. But you do have fairly defensive jump backs, because you still have 2 jumps in the air, so you're still fairly mobile, so you can survive. The problem is if you end up backing up too much, or if you let them work a position where they can aim at your head again, that's usually a lot worse, because like we said earlier, S-kill thrives off of meter, and even if you get out of Concussion, you're still going to be on 0 meter, so you still need a little bit of room to start building a little bit. And I feel like if you're backing up as you're concussed too much, to the point where you're backing yourself into the corner with no meter, that's probably worse than just losing the round, because you could get headshot again. I think that he has a decent chance to survive, but you should be thinking of surviving and not counter hitting their approach, because his kick is too slow to do that. Do you normally try to survive, or do you normally just try to lose the round? Data?
I want to lose the round as fast as I can, so that the opponent doesn't get more meter.
Yep. Okay. That's also a benefit. If you lose the round faster, they can't grind a meter off of trying to chase you down as well.
I mean, I think if S-Kill has the opponent concussed, the best thing to do is get meter rather than trying to punish them. So it's always on my mind.
I was referring to as if you're concussed as S-Kill, and then also
I know.
Yeah.
but like vice versa, like S-Kill doesn't really have great ways to chase people down. He sort of passively
Correct.
exerts pressure and punishes people. So like I would rather just make sure I have every option I want rather when I get them concussed, and make sure I have a huge meter advantage before playing the round.
Yeah, normally
than...
I totally agree, and what I do is I think I move forward with very small kicks and build my meter and take as much space as I can. I don't go for the kill. If I see them do something dumb, then I'll go for the kill. But most of the time, I just kind of walk up and build meter and to take all the space and build my meter, and then hopefully by the time they come out, I'm back to full and I can have Kickfactor if I wanted to.
Yeah, there's a few situations where against certain characters you can basically guarantee a trick against a concussed opponent, but normally, yeah, it is just you just want to get the advantage there. I'm so glad that the concussion is the only reason why I'm happy with new S-Kill. The fact that he used to be so bad.
When he had concussion, I guess out of his boss mode.
Yeah, half-distance teleports are nothing. they're nothing. Like half-distance teleports because they all have startup, right?
Yeah.
And during their startup, you're not moving at all.
Yeah.
It is the freest thing in the world to re-headshot just boss S-Kill, and the fact that you never have to deal with that is mwah.
Yeah, since the change, now that he has regular jumps, there's actually backward movement, and so he can dodge versus the other one where he couldn't.
Yeah, because just the fact that like you press kick, and then there's like 4 to 12 frames where your head is still in the exact same place even after you've tried to kick back. It's just like, man, this is a great way to murder me.
All right, let's move on to line play really quick. I think S-Kill has a very strong line game because he can get to center as fast as possible with his trick, and he can defend with his double jumps and his parry. His kickbox isn't great for kick clashes, but the fact that he can instant B wherever he needs to be is very strong for a line game, and he does have his double jumps where he can kind of defend the line with a single jump and still have options to move or just land and parry you as you're trying to take the line from him. So I feel like his line game is fairly strong, since I mean it's hard for him to push forward, but he can always use trick to get to the line when he needs to. Do you agree or do you disagree, or do you feel like you just haven't played enough line game?
Oh no, I mean I completely agree. The only thing that I would add to that is the line game is the main reason why you would want to get really good at pressing both punch and kick to do your air trick at the same time, so that you can trick and double jump out of that and control your kick so that you always claim the line. Exactly.
So you get that you get that single jump trick into a second jump option, so you have more options, because you're not going for the kill per se, you're just going for repositioning at that point, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a good call out there.
And I mean, if you see that they're just like standing still there, you can try and go for a kick, but normally like, I mean, it's at that point you haven't committed to the instant kick already, so you're probably not going to get a headshot. The safest thing to do is try and claim the line, and especially if you've teleported into that area, if they jump at all, trying to see your offense, then you can like guaranteed get over them, like not have to worry about getting kicked by them, and it's just a very safe option.
just to reiterate what you're saying, just so I can understand it, you're referring to if they were in the air trying to get towards line at all, that means that your teleport target will be higher, because if you try to catch them while they're in there, and they'll be descending, and you'll still have your second jump to get even higher to stay kind of above and safe. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
If they jump while at the line, that is essentially a free at least tie for you, because if you time it, because you can pretty much uncontested get to the center there. The exceptions are basically only Shoals and Sensei can really fight against that.
Yeah. There are definitely like matchup specific things, but we can go over that in a little bit. Gem selection. What is your preferred gem that you normally want to run? And then let me know like what the dive gem gives you, or what the other gem gives you. I'm saying dive because I'm assuming it's kick, but what the other gem gives you that you would want to switch out of that gem. So what's your number one gem right now?
The fact that S kills minimum kick height is so extremely low. I love kick gem just for how quickly you can get back to the ground. It is very important to make sure that you always have all of your options at any given time. And the fact that kick gem is kind of more meter gain. It allows you to just exert your pressure better by getting back to the ground and having it be a little bit uncertain where you're going to land, because you can choose really well based on when you kick and how you kick and whether you're doing a triple kick or KDK.
Yep, totally agree.
Dive gem is theoretically useful in a few matchups where it's really important to be able to get above some slower characters. Like I've heard it like be referenced against Jefailey and against Shoals. I used to like experiment with picking dive gem versus Shoals, but if they are also if Shoals is also picking dive gem, it's not worth it. I think no matter how much I experiment with it, I think that that the extra amount of option coverage you get from kick is really good. But there's one theory pick, which is the fact that if you pick meter gem, then you only need 2 kicks to get your first parry.
Is that worth it though?
I don't know.
let's say that's true.
Theoretically, it might be. I think it's. I have not felt it to be worth it, but I can see an argument based on your play style that might be right for you. But it's not right for me.
That does fall in line with my general, and I think that as I've done these talks and we talked about people, is kick is better than dive gem in building a meter, and style gem, where the gem that gives you meter is only of consequence if you don't have room to kick, which means the kick gem doesn't actually build you meter faster because there's just not enough space to move, and meter is very, very important. So if you are playing that style where you don't kick as often, then the meter gem can possibly be an option for you. But
I just think the fact that it's like it's the difference between needing to get 2 kicks to get your first parry online versus 3. I think it.
I'm curious now if that's a thing, but I think it's still 3. But it might be.
No,
it might be 2.
It's 2.
It's definitely 2. Okay.
It's. Can you hit rematch?
Yeah, sure. Let's figure this out.
I'm super excited.
I'll also pick. If you pick meter, I'll pick dive just to show the difference in the height.
Yeah, sure.
Select your duds.
It is well worth noting that dive gem does make you dodge faster. So if you're a defensive, you might want to run dive gem because your kickback speed and jump speed will be a little bit faster. Was that 2? Yeah, that looked like 2, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
that was 2.
Okay.
It's actually exactly calculated to make that be true. Keats did that on purpose.
Nice. Can you do the highest jump you can? Okay. I think that one time I badly timed my max jump, but it's the speed that you like in terms of. I don't know if I'm actually getting higher. There it is. That's actually higher. My timing's just bad with double one.
Hurry up!
Yeah, so occasionally I'm getting taller, but my timing on S-kill is not that great with the high jumps.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird, and you're not. Most people aren't S-kill players.
Yeah, I'm not hitting it perfectly, but you do gain speed in this kickback. Obviously, you don't kick as fast.
As you notice, it is exactly 7 kicks to get
You get a bonus
Trick.
kick from Trick as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. So the
Round 4. Divekick.
I don't know the exact specifics out of it, but in meter gem, it is exactly calculated that you will get 10 meter from this.
Pitiful. Pitiful.
Hurry up!
Okay. I think this is the best time to bring
That might be
in
wrong.
Briefs as well to give his comment on first the gems, but then later on offense. Briefs, are you there?
Hey,
Oh,
yo.
sorry, Eric. Do you want to be referred to as Eric or Briefs?
Just call me Eric, but like for the OGs out there that played around 2014, 2015, this is Briefs.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to do a slight intro as well, if that's not enough, then kind of just give some background.
So primarily, since I stopped playing Divekick, I've been a melee player, but I was good at Divekick before I was good at melee, and I played S-kill post-patch. I was the first relatively high-level post-patch S-kill. I was never good at him pre-patch. I always hated the teleport. I know it's going to sound like blasphemy. Yeah, I've taken sets off Gunthor the Perilous, his Baz, and the Meatloaf, the Stream. 2 matchups I always thought, at least initially, were really hard for S-kill, and that was all back when I was like 15 or 16. I haven't played this game in like years.
It's a decade-old game almost, so understandable. All right, so what is your gem pick?
But it's kind of similar to what you guys were already talking about. Like, dive gem is useful in some matchups, like Shoals, I think was mentioned. I found it good versus Jefailey also, like Ada mentioned, but Shoals, Stream, I thought it had some use versus Baz, depending on the Baz's playstyle. Because like if they like to do the high ropes a lot, you can get above that and retreat faster. Jefailey, I think it's actually good to go with meter gem because a legitimate strategy is to wait till he has the big head and just go for well-timed tricks, right? So you want
Fair enough. Fair enough.
build that as fast as possible.
Okay, so we do have one matchup that that Briefs does, or that Eric does like the meter gem in. So don't sleep on the meter gem. If it try it out, see if it's your style, and there's nothing wrong with picking it because it does have pros and cons.
Just never, ever, ever go YOLO.
So my defense against YOLO is always this: when we're playing games in tournaments, it's always best of 5, and you have to win 3 5 in a row games before they win 3 rounds. And if you can do that, you're probably good enough to win with just any gem. So that's where I put that. I feel like it can be used as a mix-up, but I put it as a very, very high-risk play.
I think it has very niche, legitimate use, and like I mentioned, also the Jefailey matchup, because you get the boost of speed, and he's got the big ass head. If you can get 1 concussion, then you have a very realistic chance of just doing the fraud detection based off YOLO gem.
Didn't they take that out? Didn't they patch that?
So they patched his head growing, but I think he's just referring to being able to build meter very, very quickly because YOLO gem does. Oh, go ahead.
I'll be honest, I didn't know they patched that. That's how long I haven't played this game.
That was actually vanilla, so that was vanilla only, where if you picked YOLO gem, that would give you 4 losses, and it would basically give Jefailey head 4, which is he has 4 wins, and it would just inflate it to the max. But that no longer happens if you pick YOLO Gem against Jefailey. He starts off with head 0, and it doesn't grow because once he kills you, you pretty much lose the round or the game.
Thank you for the clarification, because I only thought that because, yeah, that was pre-patch. I did play a little bit of vanilla, and I just kind of assumed because I never used YOLO post-patch, I guess.
That was the Shoals strategy. You just go YOLO and then you chain him to death. That was the main play for the Shoals versus Jefailey in vanilla.
Yeah. Also, I want to take this opportunity to fanboy a little bit. Before I started playing Eskill and before pre-patch, the thing that inspired me to play Eskill was watching the old Adelheid Evo vlogs. So it was really cool to be on the same panel.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad that after the patch happened, I initially couldn't keep playing the character because I kept getting I was too used to how it used to play, and I couldn't get over like some of my old muscle memory. It took me like having to come back years later to be able to play the character again.
Yeah, for me, the thing that drew me to Eskill post-patch was like my first instinct learning about his patch was I was like, oh my god, he's ass now. Like I can post this. I'm gonna be the only person playing this character.
I would say that most people did feel that he was significantly weakened, and I agree that he was very, very strong vanilla, and in AE he got balanced out to the point where I put him in the Kenny tier. I call it the Kenny tier just because it's like not as good as the consistent characters, but you let him have tools and they're pretty damn good.
I feel like he's really matchup dependent too. Like extremely. Like he's got some really, really bad ones, a lot of bad ones, or a lot of unfavorable ones, I should say. But then he's got a couple, like for example, Jefailey again, where like you can consistently find strategies that are not cheese that just work.
Jefailey has a lot of bad matchups, and Eskill can definitely chain those heads. But that might be a good way to move into matchups. But before we do, Briefs, I kind of wanted to get your take. You've been listening this whole time. Thank you for, being around and joining us in this panel. But anything you wanted to add as far as like common offense or counterplay?
Honestly, I think everything's been covered. I actually didn't know about the Plink parry. I never used that back in the day. I was never really not in no games I play am I really ever a training mode grinder, so I don't really look for that stuff myself, and that was never available, so I never knew about that. But they're playing again. I'm using that for sure.
I think the world into that started for me was from Markman. If you put out the oil and you plink the search, you get that same effect, but since the oil's there, you get that continued momentum where you basically do a wave a wave dash backwards. It's hilarious.
It's like Samus.
I actually wonder. Can you pick Markman real quick?
You want to see it? Okay,
yeah,
sure.
You're trying to see if you could do wave dash back parry?
Yeah, you should be able to do it with Eskill as well. Oh, can you choose?
There's no reason.
Oh, am I player 2? Whoops. I should go to
player
characters.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always found the matchups that give me super trouble in AE were like Baz, because he was absolutely broken. I found Kung Pao was gave a lot of trouble because even though you could get good parries on like an early kick, the kick was low enough that like you can't really do anything about it, and Kung Pao could just wait for you to come forward because you can't really approach, and she can. So I feel like those were the two worst matchups. Markman's similar to Kung Pao in a lot of ways, except you can trick his kick start out.
Alright, let me find that oil. There it is. Oh, it stops him. Oh, darn. Oh. Okay. Let's try it one more time.
I've actually never had this interaction. Can you upkick a trick?
So
yes.
they
Go ahead, Ada.
they clash.
I've never tried to trick when somebody was in that mode because I was too scared because the mode's broken.
Yeah,
so
I'll go for it.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, and I'm slow. Sorry. We'll probably get another shot while I'm looking for oil here. Okay, see?
do 2 jumps and then do it. Okay.
Yeah. There's the clash.
Oh, it's a trade.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they
Okay.
clash.
But you can get it out.
Divekick.
And that's actually a really good counterplay, I think, because isn't that like frame 1, the upkick?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a free draw.
Of course, I don't get oil when I'm trying to get it. Staged.
I'm surprised.
That's
I'm
hilarious.
surprised. I'm so surprised me and Insomniac never had that happen. Like,
Oh, really?
at all.
Come on, oil.
Yeah,
There it is.
I actually don't know the reason why I already knew that it clashed.
Probably happened at some point because I can't imagine that changed before edition.
Probably not.
All right. So one thing I did want to ask Briefs.
Round 6.
How did you look for your, I want to say, trick-or-treatities? Like, did you have a method, or was it just like trial and error?
I always found that, for one thing, if they're kicking back, you're more likely to miss a lot of the time, unless they're against the end of the screen and they have like a really slow kickback. I always, like, if, for example, versus Kung Pao and Markman, if you try and do the trick when they're like doing straight up dive and they're about to kick, you usually get a good angle on your trick. So either you're gonna hit it or you're gonna miss and you reset neutral because you cross up. You're not gonna get screwed out of it.
Yeah, I think that's what I was referring to earlier, where they've got that horizontal kick. So if you get it and you're facing the correct way, you get them on after they pass you. And if you're facing the wrong way, you're still kind of safe because they kick away from you.
Yeah, and that's like the one weakness Markman has, is because he's got that Kickstarter. You can actually trick that, and it's a reliable headshot, but it's really hard, but it's reliable.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of other characters, if for example, like Redacted or Mr. N, you want to trick as they're coming down because you want to read a jump up, and you get a headshot off that.
Yeah, you're using their height, and then you trick and then fall, correct?
Yeah, it's all about reading like their basic patterns. 'Cause a lot of people have like muscle memory patterns that they're just gonna go through, whether they're like building meter or whatever. Building meter is something you can read a lot with S-Kill to just get free cheese tricks. Just how I got a lot of my tricks. Just like, that's where S-Kill is the strongest, is where he's not being pressured.
For sure.
If they're just across the screen, just building meter, you can get a cheap trick in there and just get a headshot and just like steamroll them. But if they're constantly pressuring you and every single one of their kicks has like a specific reason, it's really hard to find opportunities. So it's basically if they're being absent-minded, they're just gonna lose.
Fair enough. All right, let's go ahead and move into matchups. I usually like to start with just a dive matchup. If anyone wants to volunteer for the dive matchup, if you feel like you know the dive matchup well, or I was going to start with Ada. I was going to give you the opportunity to go first, but if you want to pass and pick a different character after this one, we can.
I'm not exactly certain what you mean.
Do you want to play against dive, or do you want to play the next character, which is we're not sure what that character is yet. If Chad has a recommendation,
I'll play against dive.
Okay, so
I was actually just playing against Axe and Jinx's dive for a little bit before this. Fresh myself on the game, and like I found a big thing in the dive matchup is dive is insane at punishing commitment, and S-Kill is like almost entirely commitment. The matchup is dive favored. It's doable if you find a good spacing to hold with just empty dives, and but in melee they're referred to as tomahawks. Like for example, I got a few tomahawk parries, which is when you empty land into a parry without kicking. So in melee you would use that if you're landing in front of somebody's shield and you want to just grab them because they're waiting for you to hit their shield. It's the same idea in dive kick. They're waiting for you to land in a different spot so they could kick you. They'll end up hitting your parry.
Gotcha. Ada, so we'll do a set and then we'll switch off to a different character, and either you or Brees will kind of jump in depending on which character we pick. But that's the plan. So best of 5 here. Good luck.
Okay.
All right. I just added the score. Go ahead.
Okay. That's fine.
That's the S-Kill dive interaction there, where S-Kill is going to be like empty jumping and dive just going to wait for the opportunity.
Ooh. So as dive here, I'm just trying to make sure to always be on S-Kill. Don't let them build easily and try to aim low. He got tricked
The
now,
advantage
so...
Dive has in this matchup is he hits toes really easily, and Eskill's toes are super weak. So
I wasted a lot of my meter, but I was very scared of trick there.
yeah. As dive, you're not very susceptible to trick unless you're like super spamming just like dives, because then you can do what I mentioned before with like Mr. N, where I can trick you on the way down, and if you jump again, I'll just headshot you.
Oh, nice. That was bad. Yeah, because the Kickfactor activation actually allowed you to get closer without any time.
Oh, I didn't notice it was a double activation.
Yeah. I'll take it. That was a very gambly guess. I could have easily been headshot if she wasn't doing, if she was still in the air.
Oh, yeah. One thing to note about this matchup, who is Dive's ground special, it hard loses to S-kill in the air, but S-kill on the ground, it can cross up, and that's entirely dependent on the style if that's good or not.
Oh my god.
Was that supposed to be a quick kick, and you blinked a parry?
Yeah. Double mess up.
Ooh, I thought you were gonna parry out of that. I'm sorry, parry. I thought you were gonna trick out of that.
That was pretty good though.
Yeah, definitely. So lots of back and forth there, plenty of things on display. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for perfect play, we're just looking for the show. Oh, nice. Caught me sleeping.
I saw the spacing and I'm like, I didn't think you could react to it.
Ooh.
That was a parry.
Yeah, I was just
I got tricked.
It's not low enough, but yeah, I knew it as soon as I saw it.
One thing I would change about S-kill is I would make Trick invincible quicker.
No, that can't. It can't be. It can't be. Well, you know what? Actually, fuck it. Sure, make it invincible.
I'd like for him not to have hittable frames when he's invisible, because it just feels really bad.
That's what I mean, yeah.
He doesn't. Like... He doesn't. It's only Trick. Normally, you're invulnerable after 4 frames. Only Trick has that.
That's
that hittable time.
It's in Trick specifically, because
yeah.
like, it's really annoying to get hit when you're invisible. That's literally the only change I would make. Otherwise, like, he's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fair. I would make it so that I'll say after the round. I thought that you would go for it right then.
Ooh. Oh, come on.
That was a nasty read. You had to jump forward.
I know, I totally waited for the delay too, and I just pressed it a little too early.
Yeah, I think that Trick should that it should go back to Trick not having an animation if done while S-kill's invisible. Yeah,
it gives his kick factor a little bit more oomph. I mean, it already has a lot of oomph, but it gives it even more oomph and more urgency for a player to make sure that S-kill doesn't get meter for kick factor. I'd be fine with it since it's not. I don't think it's that overpowered, but because once he uses it, he uses a lot of his meter, and then he's back to having no meter. So I don't think it's that bad. It's kind of like Kenny when his special hits, he pretty much loses all his meter, but it's a really good special.
I love Kenny's special. I was a Kenny main in AE. Kenny's
I love
special
Kenny.
is my favorite thing in the world.
Definitely a fun character. So earlier, I tried to do a fast DK, but I missed and I ended up doing the arc, and then I tried to delay my kick to not get parried, but I still got parried. Ooh, a little too fast.
3 dive kick.
The thing is dive and kicks poses when they're kicking. If you have good timing, it's really easy to hit a headshot. Your heads literally stick out. There's like other characters where there's other like limbs in the way and stuff, like redacted. Dive and kick are really susceptible.
Round
I think kick definitely is a lot better just because he starts on the ground a lot lower. Nice. His minimum kick height is a lot lower as well, so he can get
I'm
those
so
like...
worried about getting the.
Yeah. Also his ground special.
Sorry, was that Ada? Nice.
Oh, sheesh.
I was like, do I go for this long one? Nope, it got parried. I should not do that.
That's a classic.
I had another.
2-1?
I had another one in case you did a long kickback. I watched the meter exactly to make sure that I could do that to
To
guarantee
get the
it.
double? Oh, actually, that's something to point out. When you have Kickfactor, you have 2 tricks. That normally doesn't happen because it spends so much meter, but when you have Kickfactor, you can use your special even if you have the tiniest sliver of Kickfactor left.
Yeah.
I love the like round start instant trick. It's my favorite cheese in the world.
Round 1 dive kick.
Ooh, just a turn.
Nice.
Round
Kick back is definitely the thing that makes dive broken in this matchup. It's like you cannot parry that if you decide to kick forward.
Well timed.
Thank you, thank you. Trick is online.
It sure is.
Yeah, that's when you just like read the patience because it's reactable, but it's like it's hard to react, you know. So
That was good. Good patience.
Oh, I was just trying to... I even if I'm concussed, I try to stop the meter build. Oh.
I didn't do that.
Oh, that was
That's not what I did.
intentional.
Yeah, that was. I got by the buffer system.
Yeah, the flash pause. Ooh,
Oh.
just underneath.
oh, yeah, because you were like in, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not traveling. It's just I'm inside the body already.
You know, I had kicked and then later hit dive, but because of the buffer system, they were hit. They were counted as hitting at the same time, and
Would that have been a situation where the plank parry would have worked?
No, because I'm already low by the time the plank parry works on high positions, not low positions. I should just say that. That's probably easiest.
yeah.
from above.
If you want to plank parry, you want to do that in when they're attacking from above, not center low. Oh.
That's a nightmare position for dive.
Yeah, I missed the punish, and then I'm like, what do I do now? Okay, try not to get... Oh, I got hit in the head.
Yeah, S-Kill is like one of the only characters that, or not one of the only, but like one of the best with punishing characters with that mid-air kickback.
Yeah.
Round
It's just that it's so telegraphed. It's like the only thing you can really do. So.
Ooh, nice.
All right. I'm feeling comfortable.
Go 2014.
Ooh,
I parried. I don't know what that was.
it looked like you were into a teleport. I don't know if that was a trick, because it looked like you landed.
double kill.
Okay. Well, yeah. It was good while it lasted.
Round 6 dive kick. MoreTech.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Dive's kick factor is really good when he doesn't have to worry about parry.
Round 7 dive kick.
Very good set, though.
I always hated that cross-up.
I feel so salty right now.
Oh no!
If I hadn't had the execution error in game 4, I think I might have had it.
It's the competitor's fire.
Still, it was.
But I have to admit that I lost the set. I can't just be like, no, give me a rematch.
This is a
We
serious game.
literally
We're
don't
talking.
have time. We literally don't have time.
I'm willing to stay past if you guys are, but I know this is already a lot of time. So if you guys are willing to stay, you
no,
can.
yeah,
If
yeah.
not-
Eric, do you wanna get in?
Yeah, I'll play a game or two.
Oh, sorry. Let me exit here.
Let me
I'll
turn
look
off
for
the
your
SMX.
I'll look for your lobby, and yeah, if there's a matchup that you wanna kind of showcase, I was thinking maybe the Jefailey one, since you had like
Oh, yeah,
some
that's what I
strong
was gonna
feelings
say.
about it. We can do that.
It's my favorite. It's the silliest matchup in the game. It's
I want to see it.
Search lobby. You're still not there.
Oh, I just happened to match with Ada because I clicked unranked by accident. Are we open?
I see it now. It's band margin, but I have Erik as your name on the scores here.
Yeah, that's just the name I use when I play TF2. I don't care to use my real name with that stuff.
No worries.
Ready for a battle royale?
So I see this matchup as Jefailey is trying to avoid the parry and then land a headshot. Once he does, it's pretty good because his angle will can chain headshots decently.
Yeah, you can actually Barry is really good in early rounds to get the first headshot, and then you can start chaining them together.
Yeah. DQ has some uses here if you can hit Eskil, but Eskil's pretty evasive, so it's hard to hit him with Disqualify. Disqualify from Jefailey's side does knock out all meter.
Round one.
Ooh, yes, this is good.
Round two.
This matchup doesn't get interesting until Jefailey has 4 wins.
Alright, Kickfactor's almost there.
Round
He still has parry though.
Oh shit!
I feel good.
headshot.
Alright, I gotta survive this round.
Round four. Double kill.
That's not how you survive that round.
Yeah, getting the headshot as Jefailey is the key to this matchup because it severely nerfs Eskil's ability to get trick and meter and parry, so all tools that are really good against Jefailey.
Kill.
Just stayed still, you crossed up.
Fraud detected.
Alright, hopefully you can avoid the headshot vortex.
Yeah, that is the thing that saves Jefailey for sure.
Yeah.
This from above. Round one.
Just trying to stay away from that
Round two.
that godlike parry. Ooh, yes. I think you might have been able to sneak in a parry there on landing.
I tried, I was just a little too late.
Oh, that's good. No no headshot there. I am about to get Kickfactor though. Oh.
Oh, I just didn't double tap kick when I had the headshot.
It was there. I thought I wasn't gonna be dead on that moment with the biggest head, or say semi biggest head. Head 3.
Kick dive.
Fraud detected.
And after I was talking about the Jefailey matchup too, that's 2 frauds.
Well, I mean, it is swingy. Like once someone gets a headshot, it kind of chains into the next.
Yeah.
From above. Round one. Round two.
Shades of getting fraud detected stamped on both of my hands.
I think was it Capconi was talking about the stamp being available, but he was trying to bring it to Frosties. Oh, jeez. I should not be holding there.
One win, it's tough.
Yeah, I can. Ooh, got the react there.
That's when I gotta just start spamming double kick, because that's like when I start doing. Oh man.
Yes, if you have no parry there, it's free reign to go for the headshot there. Oh no! Oh no!
That's the whip punch.
This is bad. Alright, well. Ooh. I think if you let yourself drop just a little bit, you would have been fine.
That's the mix-up. You didn't do 2 kicks in a row the entire time.
I gotta be careful.
Yeah.
I gotta be careful.
I think it would have worked if you had just let them fall a little bit further down before going for the trick. You were just a bit too high up.
Alright, that is 3-0. We're gonna get Ada back in here. What matchup did you want to run, Ada?
Yo, let me try that. Let me try the Jefailey matchup.
Oh, you want to do it as well? Okay, that's fine.
I don't really know how it goes here.
My whole experience in the Jefailey matchup was back in the Divekick weekly days against H-Diz. Like, he was the only Jefailey player, so...
Yeah, H-Diz is definitely a great Jefailey player. Ubersaw was also a good one. We did a talk with both of them the last time.
Yeah, like, I just remember H-Diz having his mic running the entire tournament, and you could hear everything going on in his room.
Oh my god.
They'd... healthy tip for everyone out there: if you're playing Divekick, go to options first. Turn off your online chat. It will find whatever mic it can and broadcast you to the world. So be aware.
Disqualified!
That's a good point. I did get disqualified.
Oh, I thought that would hit.
That looked like a hit.
Yeah, it was very close. Now I'm in trouble.
The one. That's why I chose meter gym, is because that's the situation where you just want to spam DKK, and go for trick.
Disqualified!
Probably should have played a.
Oh, that was a bad kick forward. Nice
I
timing.
felt pretty good about defending the line there.
Yeah, that was awesome.
True. Makes sense.
Round 5.
Oh, okay.
That should not have crossed up.
Round 6.
Oh my god. There was nothing I could have done about that.
Round 7.
See, now normally H-Diz would hit those. I have a problem with my low ones, but H-Diz was really good at those like low Jefailey kicks.
Yeah, and that was the situation where I was talking about, where like before I jumped into it with a kickback, but like there's a situation where if you're inside Jefailey, if you stay still, you're safe.
Yes, from above.
His head looks so small.
Yeah, the relativity.
Round 2. Round
The main thing in this matchup is like, in terms of raw neutral game, Jefailey definitely like has really tricky things to get around. It's literally only the momentum factor that affects anything, because it doesn't matter the neutral game. You can just hit one headshot either way, you're pretty much gonna win. And the fact that Jefailey's head's so big, get one concussion on Jefailey, you're just gonna win the set.
Okay, this is the problem.
Round 6.
Ooh.
See, that's a trick that would have worked.
Alright.
Oh, thank
I'll
God.
trade it.
Those were
I'll
the-
trade it.
That was the most annoying disqualify I've ever seen. Like way up in the air.
Oh! Oh, that was bad.
All right. All right.
Great patience there. Making me chase. Nope.
Yes.
Perfecto.
Apex of the jump.
Bye.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Except I couldn't do it. So.
No, no, it's there. We know it's there. We just saw it.
Okay.
It's fun though.
Oh, heck, I'm realizing I have to go.
Oh yeah, we are at 7:30. Ada, if you do have to jet, thank you very much for participating. Did you want to plug anything before you leave, or do you just need a jet?
Twitch.tv/ComfyBasilisk, but not for another 3, 4.5, 6.5 hours. I stream in the middle of the night.
Let me
Okay.
get that link in there. But thank you very much for joining. Yeah, if you do have any closing words, just you can say them now.
No, because this game's still fun. I wish that I had not stopped playing it because I felt bad about not having my broken horseshit character who was obviously too good.
Oh man, I just miss SKill being good. I agree with you.
We are having a tournament in a couple weeks. If you guys do want to join, you can type !bracket in the chat and it'll show you the registration. But you can also join our Discord if you type !Discord. And hopefully we see Ada out there. I don't know if she has time, but it's always nice to see.
Depending on when it is, I'll take a look.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, peace.
Thanks again.
Yeah, have a good one. All right, let's try this Jefailey shit again.
All right, no. I kind of want to move into a different matchup.
Yeah. I know, that's fair. That's fair. Well, what's another one we could show off? How good are you at Baz?
I'm okay. I'm no Axum or Gunther, but I can play him.
Maybe we can show off how like one-sided that matchup is.
Okay. Also for your lobby. I don't know if it's one-sided, but there's definitely things you can do as Baz once you get a
it's more
headshot
just,
for sure.
Like, oh no! In Edition Plus, he's like not as broken as Raw Edition.
Okay, so let's refer to the versions. So in PS4, there was no broken Baz, but on Steam for PC, there was a Baz that had the wrong finalized version push live, and that was where he basically had his air special in 2 kicks. Basically, any jump, he had a special. That was different for PS4, which is the character he was supposed to be. But after AE Plus, they nerfed his swing speed a little bit. But they corrected his meter build for the kicks.
So that was the version that Gunther was playing on when he was like dominating, wasn't it?
I mean, he was dominating with he was pretty good with Baz even in vanilla. So I would say that he played different versions, and even on PS4 he was still good. So he did get the benefit of the extra meter build though.
That's what I mean, because like Gunther pre-patch like in vanilla was kind of ass, honestly. He's like not very good.
Sorry, I'm just filling in the scores here while it was counting down.
This from above.
All right, let's see.
All right, so Baz is looking to build up lightning because you can't parry lightning, and that's one thing that's very noticeable. There's the parry.
That's actually like I don't know how objectively hard it is, but I always found it hard to parry that kick for me.
It's because there's a duck. We were talking about how you get lower, and so Baz pretty much stays above your head, so it's a bit different.
Yeah, I remember when the lightning was his main kick. That was, oh my god.
basically, as Baz, I'm just looking to build up meter for trick, or sorry, for lightning, and kind of get use out of it.
I tried to land with parry. That's enough.
Yeah, the best.
Fast fall in this game.
The best thing about Baz is he's got 2 free cancels, so. He can do a lot of mix-ups just with his normals, and then you add air special on top of that, it gives him another option. Oh! Okay, was trying to lightning out of that, did not happen.
Full swings are like kind of bad in this matchup. That's the one thing. Like, the idea is Baz just wants to mix up and just build meter while he's mixing up so he can go for that lightning, which is ridiculous.
I think both characters have tools. I think I was talking to Axon about this. Both characters have tools to get in each other's faces. And it does become like an arms race.
I always hated this matchup. I could never figure it out.
Oh.
That was another one. I was going for land parry.
I think I got you before you hit your landing frame, so there might not have been a chance there. Oh, too fast.
that was a vanilla Baz death.
Round 5
That's the thing about this game is like there's the only panic option you have is the jump.
Yeah, it is definitely limited options. Oh, nice.
There's the trick on the way down I was talking about.
For sure, for sure.
7 The Basilisk wins.
From what I remember playing this on Baz's side, you're looking for you can try to attack the landings with lightning. You want to avoid hitting into parries. You want to avoid doing a high jump kick because you don't want to be predictable to get tricked. Because if you're in that rope motion, that rope delay motion, trick goes for a perfect headshot, so you don't want to make your jump into rope very predictable. And then on the S-kill side, parry on the ground doesn't work as well because, like I said, the angle at which he kicks is sometimes you just end up ducking it, and so you end up wasting meter. And trick is fairly important, and I feel like because parry doesn't work as much, I tend to use it only in emergencies, not necessarily because normally I like to bait it out and try to bait people into kicking it. But even if I bait Baz, sometimes I'll still miss, so I don't feel like it's as worth it compared to just saving up and only using it to not get headshot.
Yeah.
Yes, from
I'm gonna
above.
make this comeback.
Round 1 kick.
My career!
I was just getting the trick on the jump.
Yeah.
Because the target was on, when I was on the ground, I jumped past his target. Ooh, nice. Got a little predictable there.
Yeah, generally if somebody's trying to build meter, you trick on the way down and you have a pretty likely kill.
Ooh, yes.
It's madness!
Round 4 kick.
That was bad.
Reception.
Round 5. Divekick.
I find that like a lot of the time, like as soon as you get your aerial special, you'll do like a high swing then a low swing then the aerial special.
Ah, gotcha. Oh, damn. Buttons are hard.
Round 7. Divekick. Double kill.
Nice.
I see stars.
Round 8. Divekick.
Oh, nice, nice. On the board.
That's the trick in it, but like that's the difference that 8 years makes. Is I feel like I'm actually understanding the neutral more now than when I actually played freaking game. Like, because like it's just that much more experience with fighting games. I'm actually looking for patterns now. Whereas I'm just like a robot before.
Yeah, it's a lot of time to. 8 years is a long time to grow and look at things differently for sure. Nice. I should be they call it reacting with a bazooka in there. It's possible to miss if he doesn't get it perfectly. Ooh. This is really good for Baz since headshots on S-kill mean no meter and no meter after he clears it.
I was expecting you to cancel there.
Round 4. Divekick.
That lag spike that like killed me and then it lag spiked. I was like,
Oh no.
Round
The rollback.
Divekick.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's clean now. Ooh.
I see stars.
Now you're doing like now you're opening with the long swings.
Round
In 3
6.
rounds now.
Oh.
I always like that trick. The
Round
double special.
7.
The turnaround.
It's madness.
Round 8. Divekick.
How can a god lose?
Trying to go for the low one.
Round 9. Divekick.
Oh, I had it.
Kill.
A little too quick on that arm.
Yeah. That's another situation
2-2.
where like the big mix-up versus S-kill is landing with jump or landing without jump. If you land with jump, you're gonna be susceptible to a trick.
Yeah, I was trying to. I saw the trick coming. I backed up behind it. I just put out my arm
Yeah.
before the
Yeah,
before the
when you're
kick
next to
passed
the
me.
wall, when you're next to the wall, that still like puts you in trick path.
Ooh. Nice line play.
I saw you didn't have specials, so I was like, screw it, I'll just stand. I didn't have fast enough.
Round 3. Divekick.
Kick just a little bit faster, I think I would have got you mid lightning.
Round 4.
Might have, because I was pretty close. Oh, darn. Trying to get that ground special parry.
The lightning.
Yeah.
That's the line play, right?
Oh, there it is.
Rejected again.
I knew you were trying to react.
Round 6. Divekick.
Ooh, that was a bad solo jump there. Let's see if I can survive this. I've only got one round now.
7. Divekick.
Nice.
This kill wins.
Good set, good set.
I'm remembering. Getting back into it.
Let's move
Yeah.
into stream because that's a really, really good matchup for
Oh yeah.
S-Kill. But I want to
Yeah,
kind of point out. I want to show the flame kick problems.
Select your
Oh yeah, with
character.
the flame kick problem.
Battlecaptor.
So
These will
this
be
particular
the final
matchup
adjustments,
is
I
very
swear.
S-Kill favored because of the fact that
Select
stream's kick, although you can steer it, normally puts people in a trap. But since S-Kill can parry, the slow movement of stream doesn't do much to help that, and S-Kill can parry a kick that's steered toward his head.
And Trick is pretty good versus Stream too, I remember.
Yeah, in addition, Stream hangs in the air for a while, so he has a lot of airtime when he's and he's floaty, so that gives a lot of there's a lot of trick opportunities that you can happen with his with the way he kicks and the way he moves in the air. Just leaves him susceptible to a lot of he's really limited. So when you're playing against S-Kill, you're trying to play very aggressive, more risky, because Trick can basically catch you almost at any time, so you have to stop him from building Trick. And one of the ways to kind of get through parry is flame bait. So let me just demo this real quick. Whenever you're stream and you shoot out a flame bait, you can kick into it to get flaming feet. And you can actually kick through a parry. So I'll try to show that this next one. Can you just
I
stay
didn't know
still?
that actually. Or I didn't remember at least.
Okay, so try to parry this. Yeah, so that parry should have hit, but because I have flame feet, it actually went through the parry. And you don't have an opportunity to headshot, so it won't headshot the character, but it is a tool if you are stream playing against S-Kill. But S-Kill definitely has the angles here. He can get out of the way with his kickback and then just jump up to punish you. Because most of your attacks look like this. They're slow, and if S-Kill can't parry, he has the jump speed to get out of the way as well.
You can also stuff Stream trying to get into the fire in the first place by parrying in the flame because it won't bounce you.
Okay, let's kind of show that. I'll get the meter up for it. Oh. Alright, we'll try it again on the next one.
Yeah.
Because I did not know this earlier, so this is something new to me.
Yeah, I did it against the Meatloaf. I watched my set earlier today to try and get like reacquainted with the game, and I was like, oh, I forgot you could do that.
You want to build some more parries just in case? Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, so you cancel your landing frames, and while you're in parry, it won't pop you up, so you get that delay where if stream is expecting you to pop up right away, you can force a delay by canceling your landing frames into a parry.
Yeah. So it also makes trying to touch the flames a little dangerous as well. You got to make sure the kick's low.
Oh, it wasn't. Alright, just
yeah, you guys saw it.
yeah. Give me a couple kicks and then, or one more kick, and then we can start a set.
Round 7. Kick.
Don't just kill me.
Oh.
Stream does have like a head that moves around, so as S-Kill, if you're tricking a standing stream, you want to do a slight delay on your kick because there's a chance that he might duck it if you do the highest one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, GG's, GL, HF.
Round
Go, Asia.
1. Kick.
Unbelievable!
Round 2. Kick.
As stream, I'll be playing somewhat aggressive because as soon as he has trick, it's a very good way to kill me.
Everybody panic.
I was using invisible there to hopefully bait out the trick.
Round 4.
It hit me though. There's the parry.
Round 5. Kick.
S-Kill does to stream what dive and kick kind of do to S-Kill, where like S-Kill can just constantly punishing like stream. Like stream is the one that has to approach, and like S-Kill kind of can't. But like the thing is, S-Kill's kick angles and the way he like moves just kind of hard counters the way stream moves, and you can just kind of be patient the entire time.
Yeah, he's got the angles and the tools to deal with a lot of stream's antics. As stream, you want to hit him in the air if possible, or very low, but it's kind of hard. Ooh, that trick was a bit telegraphed.
It looked like a trade at first.
Oh, stream does have one thing, and that's a very nice hitbox.
Oh yeah, it's really hard to trade with stream.
Yeah.
He has priority.
I would say stream is number 2 behind Redacted as far as best hitbox in the game.
Redacted's so dumb.
Oh, I think is that 1-1 or was that 1-0?
That's 1-0.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's me gambling for the read. Obviously wrong. Gets hit in the head for it.
Very dumb trick.
I was able to just kind of guess my way out of that, but we'll see if that keeps coming. Ooh.
There's the rare trade.
Yeah, the rare trade. I was expecting to win that one. So at this point, I'm kind of just waiting for a trick to happen because I know it's a problem. So. Oh damn! I think I had a chance to flame bait.
Don't even have to wait.
Yeah, my second jump there was definitely death if I didn't flame bait. Ooh. I think you could have parry spam there and you would have got the second one.
Yeah, I'm not really used to doing that. Good, I just never really did though. Oh man.
Ooh, yes.
I'm gonna punch it again. It's pouring salt right on my crotch.
Yes, from above. Round 1.
Ooh. Nice timing.
Yeah, that range is where like whether you kick or not, it's just.
Ooh. Going for the YOLOs. Did not work.
Round 4.
Oh, yes.
In my toenail.
Round 5.
I'm really happy that wasn't a headshot.
Round 6.
Nice.
That's one thing about flame bait, you can trick that.
Yeah, you can. It's a trick opportunity.
Round 8.
Ooh, I had that one.
That's the range where you gotta back up from.
Yeah, I was trying to do a KDK, or yeah, a KDK, but I think I pressed my K before I landed, so the D showed up, and I ended up jumping up instead of back. I just got a little anxious. Adding 1-2 so far. I'm up 1 game.
Yes, from above. Round 1.
The adjustment. There's the backup.
Oh, I got greedy for the headshot.
I should have kicked faster.
Round 2. Divekick.
Ooh, nice.
Perfecto.
Hard to react to that range.
Round 3. Divekick.
One kick too late.
Round 4. Divekick.
Oh, there we go. There's the adjustment.
Round 5. Divekick.
All right, could trade that for sure. Oh, nice.
I believe I beat that hitbox.
Yeah, the if I'm ever in a downward angle, that's usually bad for my hitbox. Oh, this is good.
Round 7. Divekick.
Oh, almost chained it.
I don't even think I could do anything.
No, that was the best. You wanna be able to get your shoulder hit for sure. It is shorter than the AE one because they did nerf his duration or his kick speed, but it's still decently long.
Yeah, I thought I'd be able to just like whiff punish you on the way down. Alright.
How much time do you have? I can do maybe 1 or 2 more characters.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right. Let's take a look at the board. There's a few I wanted to cover that had special properties. I think Shoals is going to be one of them.
You hate to see this kind of thing happen.
Shoals and then maybe Kick, because that's like one of the best. Kick's really good against S-Kill, but let's do the Shoals one first.
Foot dive shall be your reward.
Select your gems.
I can't stand this matchup.
Select your gems.
I hated playing Ubersaw Medic. I think it was Ubersaw Medic, wasn't he? There was a Shoals player from Russia, wasn't there?
That's Toko.
Toko, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I hated playing Toko because of the lag.
Oh, the lag. Yeah, well, lag can suck. Let's go over the. I just want to show the parry first. How it can differ. So go ahead and build up parry, and I'm gonna do a double kick and then a single kick.
One. Divekick.
All right, ready? Okay. Oh wait, that's okay here.
End shot.
So that one will hit the head decently, but I can also try to use my what do you call it? My special to kind of move my head out of the way as well. Ready? To kind of dodge, yeah. So it is something to worry about. Let's do the one kick. Ready? Oh, sorry, too low. Sorry, I wasn't low enough.
You're too close.
Yeah, let me back that up.
Round 3.
Alright, ready? Nope. How do I do this? Let's do the kickback one. Yeah, so that's what happens when you do the switch or stop, but I'm gonna do no switch or stop here. So it's not a headshot when you're hitting Dr. Shoals on a parry, and there can be some wiggle room if she decides to the timing of when she goes into her special. And it can change the angle drastically, so the parries aren't fully reliable, but they're still good because Dr. Shoals has a lot of attacks in the air, so it's a very good tool if you get stuck low. She still has the pauses to kind of bait a parry and then still kick you, like she always does. And I think that's the matchup in the nutshell. Is there are opportunities to trick Shoals because most of her attacks are through the air. And so she just has a air-based game, and S-Kill likes that. S-Kill wants you to be in the air more because you're a little bit more predictable, except that Shoals does have pauses, so they both have tools to kind of fight each other, and one of the problems with Shoals is if any character can get above her, it's a weakness, and Trick can get above anybody. So, and her trying to set up traps on S-Kill will take more meter because she has to be very wary of the parry as well. Do you have anything to add to that?
There's also in neutral, and like in a lot of other matchups, like with Jefailey, it's really more so in Shoals, where if you're standing in the middle of Shoals' kicks, you can stand there and you'll be safe. There's a range where it's really, really, really hard to get to a player that's just kind of standing really close to you as Shoals, and as S-Kill, you can just kind of use that and time it when they cross you up as an opportunity to get away from them and build some more meter.
There is an issue with S-Kill specifically in that he's pretty tall compared to the other characters. I know that misses a lot with other characters, but S-Kill has a little bit of a height where it's not as good as let's say Kick or Dive, who are a little bit shorter than S-Kill. But for the most part, I believe that's true.
In my experience, Shoals players always had trouble kicking me if I was spacing myself inside them.
Yeah, inside for sure. But what I'm saying is that you're tall enough that if you're like kind of in front of me, I'll get the hit when I normally wouldn't get that on other characters. Yeah.
S-Kill's tall. He's like 7'20".
You ready for the set now?
Yeah.
All right, 0-0. Good luck, have fun.
I think this is my last set, to be honest.
Okay, cool.
Round 1. Dive kick.
I kick back. That's later.
Round 2. Dive kick.
Eat the front! Sandwich! Eat the front! Eat it! Eat the front!
Unbelievable!
Round 3. Dive kick.
Eat the front!
Perfecto. Round 4. Dive kick.
Sandwich!
Ooh, nice. That's me overextending, and S-Kill does have some decent height when he has the dive jam.
Dive kick.
Eat the front!
Actually, should have went for that because you had no meter for parry.
Eat the front! Eat it!
Hurry up.
Unbelievable!
Round 6. Dive kick.
Oh, I kind of got lucky there that you jumped into it.
Yeah. It's a Toko classic.
Yes, from above.
As S-Kill, I kind of like both gems here, like either dive or kick. They both play differently, but both are viable.
I always favored dive in this matchup.
The height definitely helps with your defense because being able to get above Shoals, like I said, that's one of the weaknesses. But sometimes I do like the extra movement and meter build you get with kick jam.
Yeah.
Round 3. Dive kick.
Eat the front!
Insult.
Ooh.
Ungrateful!
Round 4. Dive kick.
Eat the front!
Oh, I tried. Good job not getting headshot again.
Yeah, that was a frame perfect backdash.
Round 5. Dive kick.
Fraud detected.
I might just be relearning the height on there. Like what you can and cannot catch. That's one of the things that's key in this matchup. Learning when you can get above or kick.
Yeah, like it's a lot of specific stuff that you lose over time.
Yes,
Like I completely relearned Baz because I guess I knew nothing about Baz, but like
Dive kick.
Ooh, nice. Extra height there. Definitely serving you well.
Round
backdash too.
dive kick.
Sandwich!
Oh, not fast enough.
I answer to no
I'm
one!
remembering where I can stand still in this matchup.
Round 3. Dive
Divekick.
Perfecto. Round 4. Divekick.
Dive! Eat the foot! Eat it! Eat the foot!
Intended glitch.
Round 5. Divekick.
Dive!
Ungrateful.
Canceled that just before I got parried. I was like, "Ooh, phew."
Round 6. Divekick.
Foot sandwich! Eat it! Foot sandwich! Eat it! Foot sandwich!
Oh, I hate that. I hate that cancel.
Round 7. Divekick.
See, I know theoretically this matchup's S-Kill favored, but I always hated it.
I don't think
Always
it's.
hated it.
I don't know if it's favored, but there's definitely like they have tools to deal with each other. I don't know what do I have this at? Let's see. S-Kill to Shoals. I think it's just a clean 5. Yeah, it's basically trick versus air baits and air baits versus parry. So both of
I feel
their
like
they're trying to bait each other out to use their meter basically.
if it's even, it's like a Fox Samus even, where one person has to know way more than the other.
My even's based off of just everyone understands the options and not perfect. Like it's not on skill level because obviously it's hard to make a matchup if you're going off a skill level. It's just what options do they have to deal with the problems that the other player presents. It's there, but execution might be very hard. But the option's there.
Yeah. The problem for Shoals is Shoals has, in general, trouble dealing with people that are just standing still. But the thing is, S-Kill can't afford to stand still that much because he's tall, and his jump goes really high, and for the angle that Shoals kicks at, it's really tough to get around it unless you can jump above it. So it's all about timing when you can get above that stupid kick.
You did mention that you had to go at this point, so did you want to leave any plugs before you take off?
I mean, Twitter at Erik_Knuff. I mostly talk about melee stuff, primarily melee player, but I guess I'd plug that. I think, I mean, looking for a video editor. I do that as a job, actually. You know, I work at an office editing videos for a company that has a few channels. If you're looking for a video editor outside of that, I can freelance. About it for what I would plug, though.
Okay. Well, I hope that that reaches out, that hits the people that you need to get in contact with. And once again, thank you for joining. It's definitely nice to have both Ada and you kind of lend your ears and your words to S-Kill. And it's a very, very old game, so it's always good to have a discussion and some fun matches.
I'm honestly, like, considering how, like, because I always thought Lightomei was better than me at S-Kill, and there was like other S-Kills after me that were better. I was just happy to be picked as one of the S-Kills.
I believe that when we were doing the dailies, you always showed very good results, and I think you pioneered the AES kill because not a lot of people played it, so you were kind of like the first one there. When everyone kind of abandoned him after he lost his teleport jumps, you were kind of there to work him up. So I figured digging you up and trying to find you to guest speak was a good idea, and I'm very happy with it.
I had a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun explaining things because usually I don't have the opportunity to explain things, and I find I understand things way, way better when I hear them in words. If that makes sense?
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Teaching helps me learn, kind of.
Yeah, as you explain it, you have to structure it so you can explain it to someone else, and at the same time, you're structuring it for yourself.
Yeah, because like I'm speak because I also find I speak pretty simply. So if I'm speaking simply enough so that anybody can understand it, that means my dumbass can understand what I'm saying. So like if I'm saying stuff I can understand, then I'm learning too.
All right. Thank you to our viewers. If you're still there, if you're watching this on a VOD, check out our Discord. I'm going to put the Discord link in chat just in case anyone's watching this after this. That way they can kind of see that Discord invite link. But the main point is That's a place to look for players, talk about the games, and also enter tournaments. We do tournaments whenever I get a free weekend, but it's usually on Saturdays at 12 p.m. PST or PDT, and it can go maybe from an hour to 3 hours depending on how many people joined and how many people we want to stream, but we do try to stream them, and you can look at the VODs either on this Twitch channel or in YouTube. I think I have a YouTube command. Yeah, if you do want to see the tournaments. If you don't have that much time, there's also just top 10 highlights, which are pretty fun to watch as well.
Yeah, that's Divekick Infinite.
Yep.
Keeping this game alive.
Once again, thank you for watching, and good night.